Hello, Steve Arts 89. I have avoided Picard for the last week. There's been there were premieres. There was a preview, an extended trailer, different trailer. There are a whole bunch of little small promo spots, mostly with just footage of the individual characters and promotional posters. Lots of little things coming out, lots of rumors, lots of gossip. Um, and I've just been avoiding it because it's coming fairly fast, and I'm just going to sit down and catch up just before the show. Now it is the 23rd in Australia. It's not the 23rd in America yet. So I think it's another day before America gets it, and then we internationally get it 24 hours after that, unless we find other ways to get it. But I don't like to sail pirate seas, so I don't think I'll be doing that. Um, I'll just wait. And there will be plenty of speculation to keep me for those 24 hours, I think. That and the time difference, I'll probably sleep. But rumors. There are lots of rumors. One rumor is that they have actually put the first 5 episodes to screenings, and they were terrible. They got a C grade from general audience, which at most would usually give a B, and D from Trek audiences. There is, sorry, there are the rumors that they've screened 3 episodes for the premieres, and that they didn't do very well either. That they basically were based all on Earth, and nothing really happens. None of the next generation characters are in it because they were added in just as extras later, as just little tokens. None of the rumors are good, I should mention. Some people are heralding it as brilliant and amazing, and they're the people who've seen it at the premiere who they're not giving any details because there's an embargo, but they basically can be sort of assumed to be shills because you don't get into the premiere unless you give favourable reviews and say what you're supposed to say and do the usual, oh, it's brilliant, it's amazing, that sort of thing. So we can't really trust any of those reviews yet. So we've got two extremes: the ultra negative, hateful rumors, and the absolute antiseptic press. So you sort of have two sides, and there's really no way of telling which is truth. And I'm not sure the show is going to be right in the middle. It would be nice, but I've got a feeling it's going to be more to this side, considering Discovery's history. And it's all pretty grim. Although some of it is good, some of the rumors are that basically the network is so unhappy with Kurtzman and the whole everything that Section 31 has been cancelled. Discovery has basically been cancelled after the 3rd season. That the talk of Picard getting a renewal for the 2nd season is just bluster to just kind of like when they announced Beyond was being made. I mean, when Beyond was being released, they announced that Star Trek 4 was being made when it hasn't, obviously, and wasn't going to be, or that version wasn't going to be and isn't going to be, and I don't think is ever going to happen. There's talk that basically Chabon came in and he did his best to put in license as much original Star Trek and put it in the show and make it look as Star Trek as possible to help with selling it, although the actual story and so forth sort of was going to let it down. And there is proof of that because he was talking about how Star Trek is optimistic, like, to a point, within reason was the quote. And the idea is that, well, we want an optimistic future, but Star Trek was just a bit too unrealistic, so we had to sort of bring it down to earth a bit and make it a bit more realistic, which is exactly what they shouldn't have done, and is the exact problem with all the Star Trek that's been produced recently that is problematic, because they don't believe in, don't understand, can't conceive of this idea, this optimistic future, this utopian vision that Gene Roddenberry had, that people like me saw and shared and embraced and lived in for decades of our lives, they can't envision that, so they have to reduce it to something they can understand. And there is talk of this. There are interviews that speak of this sort of idea. So this is not just haters speculating. This is actually people producing the show talking about it as though it were problematic in its original form and that they are somehow fixing it. So that's a huge concern. But the talk is that Chabon came in, he licensed a bunch of stuff, made it look like Next Gen, and then they fired him because he spent too much money, and they basically pulled all the licensed stuff back out. So Secret Hideout, which is Kurtzman's company, didn't have to pay for it all. So he was brought in to de-Kurtzman the show, and they fired him and re-Kurtzmaned it. And people are not happy with that. And part of me is happy with that because I'm happy for him to run it into the ground, because then it will be dead and then they can start again. And like a phoenix, it can rise from the ashes. As opposed to maybe him compromising and dragging it out for a few more years, as the reanimated corpse it basically is at this point. So again, but that's all rumour. We don't know. I mean, the talk of where the show should go and the issues with it being problematic in Gene's original vision, all that is true, because that's in interviews that the creators, the creatives have given. And Picard, Captain Patrick Stewart has spoke of all these things as well. He doesn't seem to understand the character or what Star Trek is, even though he played the role. The assumption that because he played the role he must know everything and understand. No, he's just an actor. We love him. I've met him a couple of times. I love him. Had quite a nice exchange with him. He's a very sweet, beautiful man, but doesn't mean he has any idea what made Star Trek work or what made Picard work. So it's unclear how that's going. Now, the image I'm getting is that he doesn't understand it, and that was shown in the films when he tried to action them up and make Picard into an action hero and out for revenge against the Borg and everything. So it's unclear if he has changed Picard and adjusted Picard for his age and the situation, or whether it's hard to really work that out. Now, God, I got some notes. What did I cover? What haven't I covered? It's not looking good. Like I said, all the positive reviews seem to be coming from sycophants and shills, and all the rumours are negative as hell, and there doesn't seem to be much hope for anything in between, because nothing the creatives are saying speak to the show being anything like or related to or any sort of continuation of Next Generation. They've literally said it's not. So this is not good. Now, there was a new preview, and it had extra footage, but nothing we hadn't really seen in a way. I mean, we saw little things. We saw a very cheap wooden-looking transporter bay where people just walk in and out, and just like a train station. People just walk in, they're just beaming in and walking out, and walking in and beaming somewhere else, and little things like that are interesting. We saw a little bit of an Enterprise D within space. Now, whether that's him just remembering being in space or whether we're actually going to see the ship in some form in the show, it's unclear. It's mostly just things we've already seen, characters we've already seen, just little bits of extra, just seeing slightly different shots of the same people, like in a group, in the same environment sort of thing. There's nothing we haven't really seen before. And some of the other rumours are that Daj is it Daj or Dash? Daj, the female character that he has to save, is a Sung human with a positronic brain, and that he continued the work before apparently he failed. His brain didn't wasn't able to process Data's memory and everything, and he's been decommissioned. And they did manage to create different, well, aliens, an alien race basically of androids, and they rebelled and blew up Mars, which we saw in Children of Mars. And when they attacked, apparently was when Picard had gotten Starfleet to commission a whole fleet of ships to they create the basically building an armada to basically evacuate the Romulans. Now, the idea that the Romulans couldn't have evacuated themselves or hired ships, commissioned ships, and just used their own fleet and Starfleet's fleet. The idea that they sat and waited to build a fleet and that fleet was destroyed by androids, and then they just were helpless, and Starfleet said, too hard, not doing it. That's what people are saying. Now, that sort of sounds like something someone has made up, because the writers couldn't be that stupid to create that sort of situation within the show. But that is what people are saying. And that is where the rift between Picard and Starfleet came from, that basically they were not able to save the Romulan people, and Picard just couldn't handle the fact that they let them die, that they just gave up. That so I'm not sure. There are ways that scenario can go that work, that I've seen from the previews and that look like it's going that direction. I really am not sure. That doesn't, unless it's just been told in an odd way, it doesn't seem right. But yes, we're dealing with rumors, speculation, and some interviews that are sort of in between. So it's not much point in speculating much more, agonizing much about it. I didn't look at stuff until today because I wanted to wait, so I'm not agonizing over it for days and weeks. And hopefully it won't be that bad. Hopefully Chabon made a lot of changes before he was gone. But we won't know what's what until like 2 days. So we're just gonna have to wait. So feel free to wait with me. Feel free to share, like, comment. Comments are fun. I kind of, if you know anyone, if you know anything, if anyone has any information, rumors are interesting. I'm going to go. I'm tired. It is about 7 a.m. in Australia here, and I have not slept. And I'm tired as hell, as you can hear in my voice. But I just wanted to make this video so I don't have to do it tomorrow. It's just, I just have to wait for the show, and then I'll just be reviewing what I've seen. And hopefully it's not the train wreck it's sounding like.